Hello, everyone. Hypothesis testing example number 4. Actually, I'm skipping over problem number 4, but it's in the PDF document, so if you want to go over it, you can. Everything is there. I wanted to do this last one because this is a two-tailed test, and I wanted to show you what that looks like. So number 5. Suppose that we want to test the hypothesis that the climate has changed since industrialization. Suppose that the population mean temperature throughout history is population mean mu equal to 50 degrees with a standard deviation of population standard deviation of sigma equal to 2 degrees. During the last 100 years, the mean temperature has been m equal to 54 degrees. Do we have sufficient evidence to conclude that the climate has changed? And here is the clue that this is a two-tailed test. The climate has changed since industrialization. Conduct the appropriate hypothesis test using alpha equal to 0.05 and state your conclusion in terms of this problem. Make sure to use APA-style conclusions. All right, so step 1. You state your conclusion. Step 1, state your hypotheses. The null hypothesis, where mu is equal to 50 degrees, and the alternative hypothesis, where mu is not equal to 50 degrees. And remember, this is a two-tailed test because we are not saying whether it increased or decreased, we're just saying, did it change, right? So that's in symbols. So let's take a look at in words, right? The null hypothesis is the climate has not changed since industrialization. The alternative or research hypothesis, the climate has changed since industrialization. And once again, I pulled out the numbers that we're going to need for our formulas. Yes, I forgot. So step 2, this is step 2, right? Set the criteria, which again is given to us with alpha equal to 0.05. So mu is equal to 50, sigma is equal to 2, n is equal to 100, and sample mean m is equal to 54. So again, next step, step 3, right, is to calculate the test statistic or the z-test. And again, let's do standard error first so that we don't have that denominator in the, so that we don't have a fraction in the denominator. So standard error, sigma m is equal to sigma, population standard deviation, divided by the square root of n. So that's 2 divided by the square root of 100. So 2 divided by 10, which is equal to 0.2. So this is our standard error, right? So now we can go ahead and do our z-test. So our z is equal to sample mean minus population mean divided by standard error, which is equal to 54 minus 50 divided by 0.2, which gives us 4 divided by 0.2, which is equal to 20. All right, so the next part, and once again, let's go ahead and what are we looking for, right? So we don't know, right, which side. So this is going to be 50, and we say 54, right? So it's changed, or it could also be on this side because it's a two-tailed test, right? We don't know. So with a probability of 20, not probability of 20, with a z of 20, we need to find the area for that z. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over. Let's kind of pop over to the z table. And the reason why this problem is here is because I wanted to show you what happens when we can't find, so for example, the z-table ends at 4, a z of 4, right? There is no 20 here. And it's in the tail, so it's going to be, so here's 4. And it's in the tail, so it's this column here. So our probability is going to be less than this number here, 0.00003. I put 0.0002. It would actually be 0.00003. So probability is less than. Okay? Because 20 is way past 4. So the probability is, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. Okay? So this probability is lower than alpha equal to 0.05, right? So our decision, step 4, is to reject the null hypothesis. And because we're rejecting, we need to calculate the effect size because there's definitely a difference here, right? So let's go ahead and move this forward. And there's Cohen's d, right? And remember, d is equal to sample mean minus mu divided by standard deviation. So 54 minus 50 divided by 2 is 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 2, right? So the conclusion, now we get to do the APA style conclusion, reject the null. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the climate has significantly changed since industrialization, comma, now we need to make sure you put in the statistical evidence. You have to back up your claim or this claim with the statistical test that you just did. So z, n equal to 100 is equal to 20, comma, p less than point, let's put it over here, 0.00003, comma, d is equal to 2, which is a very large effect. And now we can go ahead and say this in English. Temperatures have significantly increased since industrialization. So there you go. These are all the hypothesis testing exercises. Hopefully this helps and will help you to study for the exam and help you with the homework. All right. If you have questions, let me know.